Hello everyone. Thank you again for inviting the two of us. It's an honor to be here. And we will talk today about whether virtual spaces can be home for us and how we have to differentiate between physical and virtual spaces when it comes to defining what home can be for us. And today we will, because we have not done really scientific work, focus on our personal experiences and just share how we feel throughout our development in our teenage years. Virtual spaces was a home for us. So before we start, I would like to talk about what home means for the both of us. So as we had in the first presentation, home also has two meanings for us. On the one hand, you have the classical definition where home is just the place where you live, so a geographical location. On the other hand, home can also be when you are around people you like or where you feel protected and where you feel safe. Then it is important to clarify what do we mean with physical and virtual spaces. So with virtual spaces, we understand social media platforms or the whole area of the internet. And physical spaces are for us the real world where we interact with people on a physical basis. So now Nick will tell you a little bit about social media as an important part of virtual spaces.
Thank you very much. So social media is a place where people from all around the world can meet and exchange their thoughts and feelings. So our generation grew up with virtual spaces and they became a fundamental part of our identity and our understanding of home. For example, we grew up with children's series or Disney movies and video games, and they play a very big role in our life. Social media can be home for lots of people. Here we can refer back to the second definition of home. Being home equals being around the people you love and care for. So social media can help us to find those people who make us feel home. Also, social media can help us to keep in touch with our family and therefore help us to feel home in the real physical world. We both are planning to leave Tuebingen this year and start to study in another place. So social media can help us to stay in touch with our family, for example, through video calls. However, one always has to remember that that the place we call home can change in the course of time. But whether this change is really happening, only time can really tell.
Now I would like to talk about the dangers of a home in virtual spaces. So it is important to maintain a balance between the physical home and your virtual home. Because from personal experiences, I guess, we can tell that it is very dangerous and easy to get lost in the virtual world when it comes to social media platforms like Instagram, for instance. And it is very important to value our physical contacts as well. So a personal example here again. So as our host told us in the beginning, we both did our A-levels this year, so our Abitur exams, and in order to maintain focus and not be distracted by, let's say, Netflix or Instagram or all these platforms, I decided to delete everything I had around February, so the exams were in April and May. So in that period I really realized that how time-consuming social media can be, and the effects it has also on your social connections with your family or with your friends, and how easy time flies, for instance, when you're on Instagram. Because, for the both of us, I guess, again, it is, on Instagram you have these reels, they are called, and it is so easy to, get into a loop, and then it's very difficult to come out of it, and suddenly instead of 10 minutes 1 hour has passed. And I guess to sum it up, the dangers, it is definitely important to have these periods of digital detoxification, as we call it, because it just gives you a sense of how precious and valuable time is, and how important it is to, not just focus on maintaining your virtual home with friends around the whole world, but also your world close by, your family and your local friends, for us here in Tuebingen.
So we already talked about the huge role of social media, and you also have to think about the social media abuse and what it can do to the development of adolescence. So social media creates a very romanticized picture of the adult life or the real life. And when you go to the process of finding a new home, you're faced with multiple challenges which are never portrayed in social media platforms. So lots of aspects of life are simplified in social media to the extent that more and more young people, as we, get into trouble, and because we have a distorted picture of this real adult world. So just think about young girls on social media, and they see all those perfect women with their perfect bodies. So you have this distorted picture of reality, and I think this also shows the huge problem of social media.
So to sum up our discussion today, we definitely believe that virtual spaces can help us to feel home, but we don't think they can be home by themselves. After all, social media is something artificial, which was meant to augment, not replace, our daily lives, replacing the typical social protocols that have basically existed for thousands of years with something that has merely existed for a decade, I guess, doesn't seem very logical and sensible. And we always need physical context because at the end of the day, we as humans are social creatures. Thank you.